single women are like the happiest.
Totally.
And I get
Like-
it.
Welcome to No Ordinary Friendship.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Teresa.
Let's catch up.
Hi, Emily.
Hello, Teresa. Remote again. It's like we're destined to not be in the same room podcasting.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. I think this is just a fluke because it's been a really weird week.
It has been a weird week. Listeners, yesterday was the day after Election Day. So we were feeling a certain type of way.
Yes, feeling very much a certain type of way. I really like that you wrote on our notes, like, let's focus on good news, because
yes,
I was like, this could go in a downward spiral really quickly if we just let our emotions like take over.
I know. There were a lot of like motivational posts yesterday that I probably shouldn't have been on social media that much, but people were like, take today, feel your feels, whatever you need to do. And then tomorrow, like, get back up again. It's not the end of the world. And I was like, that's true. So
I felt far more emotionally invested than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because in 2016, it was a shock. I feel like everyone was just shocked. This time, I don't know. It just hit me a lot harder because we kind of know what's happening.
2016 was a shock, and we were like, oh no, what might happen? But I feel like this year it's like, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but to what degree will the darkness be?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's focus on good news for our listeners. Okay. Although before we move off of election stuff, I just wanted to I know you've been sending me stuff about like psychics, and people are like, something's not right in the universe. And a lot of people in the comments were like, I woke up at 3 a.m. Did you? And like a lot of people were saying they had the same feeling. And I'm not a very spiritual person, but weirdly, election night, Cassie woke up 2 times crying. And she hasn't done that in a really long time. I thought she was getting sick, but she wasn't. And I was like, what if she is in tune with
you are mothering a future Tyler Henry or whatever?
Maybe. What if she has psychic or medium abilities? Because it was just the weirdest thing. Like, she just woke up very distraught, crying.
Yeah.
And we were very surprised. So anyway, just thought I would share that with you.
That is funny. I know. I only sent you those psychic things because actually, I guess astrologists are really popular on TikTok, and I just don't. They don't come across my For You page. They don't come across my desk. And I think they're all very woo-woo anyway, especially the ones on social media.
Right.
And one of the funniest TikToks I saw was like, I can understand the polls, like how we got here, but like, what really pisses me off? I cannot trust any of these astrologers on TikTok anymore. And I guess all of them have been predicting for a Harris win. And I just thought that was kind of funny. And then because I liked it, I got more and more of that stuff. But, I feel like it's just everyone's in the denial phase of the grief that they're feeling now. Psychics are not. They're not it.
I guess not. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
Okay. In better news, we went to Club Giggly, which I don't think any of our listeners care about, but we care about it. And for me, it was so nice to have this girls' night out. It was like so precious to me. And I was thinking after I got back, like, why don't we do it more?
I know. It feels like we really need an event to like really rally around us because we paid for it, we planned for it, and you can back out of it technically, but you paid for it, and we're kind of cheap, and we want to make sure we get our money's worth. No refunds.
Yes.
So we should do that more. Buy tickets.
Let's do it more.
Yeah, it was really fun. Me and Emily went up to the city. We saw our favorite podcasters live. They're usually based in New York. The show was fine. I don't think I loved it in any way, shape, or form, but it was still really fun to be around that energy. And I had seen Trevor Noah at the same exact venue a couple years ago, and he was sold out as well. But the amount of security that they had us go through for Club Giggly was, I didn't even know that like basement area existed. We went through like a couple of metal detectors. They checked our bags. And I guess I felt really safe.
I've never gone through that for any sort of like, besides like Disneyland and the airport, I feel like when you go see a concert
Like a sporting
or
event.
a comedy show, I've never been subjected to that. And it's funny because it's like 95% women.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
why are you targeting us?
And I kept thinking, like, is this the venue? Is this like Hannah and
Yeah.
Paige that wanted all the security? And then Paige made a really funny, or not funny, but like an interesting comment on stage where she was like, another girl was on stage and her first initial thought was, are you here to shoot me?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe that's
Maybe
why.
it's Paige because she's been dealing with like anxiety and stuff. She was like, can we please up the security?
Yes. I'll pay. I'm a millionaire.
Yeah,
But
that was interesting.
it was really nice. And it was a really good reminder to like prioritize girls' night out.
Yes. Prioritize friendships. And that's definitely a lot harder with everything going on. But I feel like it was a reminder about how nice it is.
And it felt different than just like a coffee together as well. It just felt like,
yes,
maybe because we had a little bit of alcohol in us.
Because I kept making you drink my Moscow Mule.
I know. We were sharing a drink because this is how old we are. But we were sharing a drink.
And the next day we may have been hungover.
She kept taking a little sip or not even drinking it and then putting it in front of me.
I needed to make sure I wasn't going to fall asleep during
I'm the one driving you home.
8 o'clock showing. That's true.
Okay, well, that was really fun. Okay. And we didn't have to think about anything election related because that was like a couple days beforehand. Prior to that as well, Logan, I took him to the doctor. He had been crying. It turns out he had a fractured collarbone, poor guy. And it was kind of interesting for me to see the doctor take off his shirt and like kind of inspect all the different areas. Like the way he was feeling the different bones, he knew pretty easily. I mean, Logan was also being a perfect patient. He was just sitting there like with a confused look on his face. But he was confused, and then he would show signs of pain when like he pushed down in a certain area. And he's like, I'm 90% sure it's this, but like go get an x-ray. Our x-ray experience was terrible. Like
really?
I did not realize. Okay, I guess I had asked you and I asked our other friend about like x-ray experiences, and I'm curious to know if they're like specialized pediatric x-ray places.
Oh.
There probably are.
Maybe.
But we went to just like an adult one or one that's for everybody. The first time we were there, they were like, it's an hour and a half wait, which was so surprising to me because the doctor, the pediatrician was like, there's probably no line right now.
Yeah.
He was so wrong. It was also Halloween. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh.
But the guy was like, come back tomorrow, come back at 10 a.m. Like we start at 10:30. You could probably be the first one. I was like, okay, great. We got there at 10 the next day. We waited until 10:50. I don't know what was happening, but there were multiple people getting called in that came after us. And I was like, okay, maybe they have like a special kid one that they need to
well, I know some people have appointments. Is it like appointment versus walk-in?
No. No one has appointments because I couldn't make an appointment the day before.
Oh, okay.
At least for what he was going in for, it was just walk-in. It would make a lot more sense. I think this is more like probably not a serious x-ray, like if you had a more serious thing that you had to get taken care of. Like on his thing, it said stat. Does that make a difference?
Give us the x-ray stat.
So the guy called us in. He did not look at me. He didn't look at Logan. He just walked us into like the back area. There are a couple stalls, I think, for people to change into the actual gown. Logan didn't have to change into one, thankfully. He just had to take off his shirt. And once he saw the dark room, all the big machinery, he started crying his eyes out. He was really scared. And I was like, no, it's okay. And he's gotten so strong and so heavy that I couldn't just pick him up and move forward.
Yeah.
Finally got there. Again, the technician just like doesn't look at me or Logan. And it was just such a strange experience. I'm like, is this the right place? Are we going to be with you the whole time?
Yeah.
And I was like, what can I anticipate? And he's like, watching Logan freak out, looks at me and goes, okay, we're not doing this. He's like, we're moving over to the bed. Because I guess he was going to stand up in one place.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, this bed that's like really, really high with this random like square hard thing on it. So I asked him, like, what does it entail so I can plan for it? And I can kind of like tell Logan what's happening so Logan can at least hear me say words.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I'll help you. And I was like, okay, well, Logan,
still, I want to know.
Yeah, I still want to know what's happening here. He's like, oh, like, we'll just get him on the bed. You wear this. And he kind of just like nods in the direction of Logan, just like very dismissive. He has me wear the protection, the vest. And Logan thought it was hilarious once I put that on. I was like, okay, we're turning a corner. We're turning a corner here. He's going to be great. He didn't even have to wear one. He just had to like lay there and it kind of was a blanket on top of him. After I was able to wrestle him, it took everything, like all my energy. I was sweating so hard, Emily. Like I put him on the bed, on this like very uncomfortable bed with like, again, like this really random like square thing that popped up. We were holding hands and I was like, can I play some music? He's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay.
Or like, how long is it going to be?
Yeah, how long is this going to take? He's like very short. And he just didn't give me anything to work with. And I think the worst part was Logan ended up doing fine once I was able to be right next to him, hold his hand, play some songs. After we were done, he looks at Logan. He was like, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad.
Bedside manner.
Yeah, really weird. Just not even bad, but really weird bedside manner. And then he proceeds, I put my phone away in my pocket. I was about to take Logan off, but there's a really specific way of carrying him right now because his collarbone is like, if you hold him in like that area under his armpits, he really cries out in pain.
Yeah.
The guy, I guess, thought he was helping me. He carries Logan out, presses a ton of pressure onto his collarbone, like the exact area in which he was like x-raying for.
Yeah.
And I was like, this man is so careless.
Yeah.
So Logan again freaks out, very, very upset. We leave. I was pissed. And then Logan got a snack. I mean, he was such a trooper, but I just felt like this was not it. This was like the American medical system.
That sounds so different from our experience, and I'm sorry I set your expectations so high. Because we had to take Cassie in, when was it? Like earlier this year in February, because I had to ask for it, remember, because she had pneumonia. But they were very nice, the x-ray place. We barely had to wait, maybe like 10 minutes. And they were just like, luckily she was chill, but she was able to just stand and they took the x-ray that way. And then I had to go for myself another time, and it was like same, like not a long wait. They were nice, very polite. Like the guy was like, do you need help taking your necklace off? You know, like it seems like they are much nicer over here in San Mateo.
So the pediatrician ended up calling me just to like check up to make sure I got the x-ray. And I told him, I asked him, like, is there a specific place that is more child friendly? And he kind of just like, he sighed and he was like, I've heard this feedback before. Unfortunately, it is the closest place. But if you, like, this was more, I wanted to make sure that it was done ASAP. But in the future, you could ask. You can ask for a more child-friendly x-ray technician. And I was like, why does it even have to be that way? Why can't they all just be a little bit friendly to the adults? I can work on prepping my child.
Yeah.
So that was our experience.
I'm sorry.
Super lame. I hate that guy.
I hate him for you.
But Logan's doing good though. He has a little arm sling. And you saw him. He's like,
he was still very happy. Did they give you like an estimate of how long it will take for it to heal?
A couple of weeks. I think he was like, it's a very mild, small fracture, but we have like a regular appointment anyway, so the doctor will just check up on him then.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad it's not that long.
Yeah. Logan will not. It's really interesting though, because at school, the teachers are like, Logan's so good at keeping it in, but he does try to sneak his hand out. And we tell him to put it back in. And he has this face where he looks like, oh, I just got caught. Gotta put my hand back in.
Aw, so cute. He's so friendly and cute.
He's so cute. Okay, guess how much?
Okay. Well, this you already knew because you texted us in the WhatsApp group. But for listeners who don't know, okay, actually, guess how much it costs to swap your milk choice at Starbucks from like regular milk to oat or almond or whatever. Did you know?
$1.25?
I feel like it was like 70 cents. So actually not outrageous. But at the same time, when you're buying like a $5 drink, that actually adds a significant amount.
Totally.
And I always kept thinking like, oh, I don't really want to drink milk because I'm trying to reduce my dairy, but I can drink milk. Like technically I'm not lactose intolerant.
Right.
So a lot of times my frugal self wouldn't allow the swap. Whereas like Victor always swaps it because I think it does upset his stomach if he has dairy.
Right.
But now, listeners, the answer is 0.
I'm so excited. I think this is when I saw that, I thought it was worthy of sharing ASAP with you.
Yes, I agree. But I was going to share it with you today.
I think it doesn't go into, actually it goes into effect today. Yeah.
And holiday cups, I think.
Oh, holiday cups are today too. I really need any kind of cheer in my life right now.
Go get a non-dairy Starbucks drink in a holiday cup.
I think I will after this. It's still going to be okay because it's my before noon caffeine. I don't drink any caffeine after noon. I agree. Like, I understand why they did it, like why you have to pay a little bit more, like way back in the day, because alternative milk was more expensive. But now it's so mainstream. If anything, it could be cheaper sometimes as well. So yay, I'm so glad. Thank you, Starbucks.
Yes. Thank you, Starbucks.
Okay. My thing is, we talked about Cocofloss for guess how much? It's like $10 for a spool, right? Of a regular little floss. So I kind of found a dupe, I think.
Ooh.
On Amazon. It kept feeding it to me and I finally ordered it. And it's called Reach Pop. I think Reach is a popular floss brand. Yeah.
Oh.
Guess how much it costs for I got it. Oh, actually, I can show it to you. It's right here.
Oh, it does look like a dupe.
Yeah. And
like
it
kind of
feels
translucent
like
box and then the colorful floss.
And the texture, actually, I feel like is a pretty good dupe as well. And I was thinking there should be dupes. Cocofloss is very expensive.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time, I feel like.
Yeah. Guess how much this cost?
$5.
No, it was only $3.70 or something like that.
Whoa! Watch out, Cocofloss.
The only thing is, I'm probably going to give this away because I accidentally bought cinnamon flavor, and it is disgusting.
That is a big mistake.
Why is that a thing? Like, do people find cinnamon and minty in the same? Do they see it as in the same category?
I don't, but some people must.
It's very spicy.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, those, like, what were they called? The hearts?
Big Red.
No, the little candies, but they were cinnamon. They're like little hearts. Do you remember? I think they were called like Red Hots or something.
Oh, okay.
Liked them, but they were very spicy to me.
Yeah, why is cinnamon spicy? I think of it as like a cozy seasoning.
It's because people love making things spicy these days.
Emily is not into spice, guys, in case you didn't know. She thinks, what do you think? Like, you think...
I mean, I think things that are spicy are spicy. Like everything at Chipotle, most salsas. Nowadays, the most annoying thing is McDonald's. You know how they now have spicy nuggets? So I think they do. And I think they probably fry it all in the same oil. So even if you get regular nuggets, they're spicy. And like enough for my kids and me to think so. So it's really annoying. Like we can never really get nuggets for my kids now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
When did they start having spicy nuggets?
3 or 4 times. So now we just get them like the Happy Meal with a cheeseburger.
Oh, they really got your like spicy gene, like the spice tolerant low gene.
It's so funny because today Charlie saw a Taco Bell when we were driving and she's like, can we go eat at that restaurant with a bell? And I was like, oh, well, I don't think you'll really like it because it's like tacos and quesadillas. And she doesn't usually like quesadillas. She's like, I like quesadillas now. And I was like, oh, well, that one is a little bit spicy, which is annoying. And she was like, yeah, because they don't even say it's supposed to be spicy, right? And I was like, oh, I've trained her well.
That sounds like something you would say. To a T.
She probably heard me say it like 13 times already.
It's not even supposed to be spicy. Why is it spicy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting about the nuggets, though. I had no idea. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell Steven. I kind of want to try it.
Try it, and you should get like spicy and non-spicy and just see if you get a hint of spice on the regular
Oh,
ones. You probably
I'm probably
won't.
gonna say no. Okay, moving on to pop culture.
Okay. Pop culture. Have you heard of this term 4B?
I heard of it like maybe over a year ago related to
Oh,
Korean culture and the 4B
yes.
movement.
So I feel like, well, everything in Korea people want to emulate nowadays
Is that
because
where it originated
I've
from?
yes. It's so I've been seeing it a lot. Maybe it was after the election results or something. Just a lot of like young females on TikTok are saying how they're like, I don't know if it's like implementing or practicing 4B, but it's based on four like Korean terms that start with B. But I
Mm.
don't know what those terms are. Basically, it's becoming someone who like doesn't get in a hetero relationship, won't have kids, won't date, and won't have like any sexual relations. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like swearing off men, right?
Yeah, okay. When I saw the Korean version, it was very much like decentering men from their lives because the men have really let them down in a
Mm.
lot of different ways.
Hmm.
And this is like their way to take back their power.
Makes
I don't
sense.
know like how widespread that actually was because I also saw that in Korea. It was like all the foreigners talking about it, and people that were
Oh.
actually Korean were like, "What is this?"
Like a foreigner in Korea made it up.
Yeah. Or they're like, "The Korean women are fed up." Who
Yeah.
knows if that's actually true or not? But I didn't see that. Interesting. Like,
Yeah, I had
because
to look
of
it
the
up because I was
election.
like, "What is everyone talking about?" And then I thought it was really interesting, and I do feel like it's like trending in today's culture because of the whole like everyone backing Taylor Swift signing it like childless cat lady because
Uh-huh.
was it JD Vance said something
Yeah.
about her, and then I think I saw a study recently that was like single women are like the happiest,
Totally.
and I get
Like,
it.
totally. I've seen
'Cause
so many things like that too. Like, what do married women have to gain?
yeah, and I think part of it is there's so much more discussion around like the mental load or like the burden of the household falling on the woman so much. I think it's more so once you have kids, of course,
Yeah.
but like all the single young girls are seeing that and being like, why would I want that? I can make my own money. I can do whatever I want with my money, and nobody's gonna drag me down. So
Right. And no one's gonna look out for me as a woman more than me, a
yeah.
woman. I mean, I think, yeah, I just have a lot of feelings right now on how like women are viewed in America.
Yeah. And I'm sure Black people feel even worse after the results. There are a lot of things that were like, oh, you would rather elect any white male than a woman of color or a Black woman, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, she's got that double minority going for her.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, enough election talk.
Keeps creeping back in when we're
I
trying to
know
think.
it does. Okay, tell me about Martha. What's happening with Martha
Oh, yes.
Stewart and Netflix?
So,
Heard she's a
Martha,
badass.
I actually feel like I didn't know very much about Martha Stewart besides she popularized all this like hosting stuff. And then also that she went to prison and now she's best friends with Snoop Dogg. But the documentary, which is on Netflix, listeners, I think is really worth watching.
Okay.
Do you want spoilers? I guess if I'm telling people it's worth
Right. Well, it's
watching,
just about life, right? So is it really a spoiler?
that's true. But like, I didn't know very much about her early years, which was cool to see, and just see like
Okay.
photo and video footage of her and how she actually started out. Like the whole journey kind of started out as a catering company.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
but
was
then
she
she like
catering?
she catered in such like beautiful ways or just like striking ways that she catered for big events, celebrities, like people wanted her, and then she was like catering is so temporary, like you have an event or you eat it and it's gone, so she wanted to make it something that's like lasts longer, and she had I
Wow.
think like a book because her ex-husband was in publishing, and then that kind of launched from there, like this book about entertaining. And then she was able to
Uh-huh.
like build this amazing brand. Um, okay. Can I spoil for you the
Yes,
okay.
spoil, please.
Okay, the interesting thing to me, because I didn't follow it that closely, maybe you already know. Do you know how long she was in prison?
No. A
So
year?
in my head, it was like a long time for some reason, like years, but it was 150 days. So really not
Oh,
that bad.
she probably was like in a premium prison too, a
Yeah,
luxury
they said
one.
it was coined Camp Cupcake. And it was
Sounds
like an
nice.
all women prison. I guess they probably all are separated like that.
Right.
The other thing is, do you know why she went to prison?
Fraud,
So
right?
I
Tax
thought it
evasion.
was for insider trading,
Oh, okay.
but it actually, they tried to see if she had committed insider trading, and I think the evidence was pretty clear that she had not. So basically the man who
Oh,
she knew of the company did not actually tell her anything. But
okay.
then I think it was the DA at the time went after her for like obstructing the FBI or like lying to the FBI or something. And it's the dumbest thing because in her defense, she was like, my attorneys were like, if you don't remember, then just say you don't remember. So in her
Mhm.
interview, when they asked like, oh, did you know that that guy sold his stock or that his family members were selling their stock? And there was a lot of times when she was like, I don't recall. And then they
Mhm.
pinned her on like, oh, you lied about that, about knowing. And that's the reason
But
she went to prison.
how
It's the dumbest thing to me.
wait, but how that's not proof that she knew anything. Like, if you say you don't remember, how can they prove that she remembered or
So,
knew?
she says that her stockbroker called her as she was like about to leave for like a trip to Cabo with her best friend. And he was just like, oh, the stock is going down. Should we sell? And she's like, okay, go ahead and sell. And the other
Mm.
thing is, it was only worth like $45,000. She didn't like make
What?
a ton of money or anything. It's like the smallest
Right.
thing. And it
Interesting.
infuriates me right now that Trump is going to be president because of something like this, like how they went so hard after her for something stupid.
What
Um,
year was this?
I'm not sure. 2000 something.
$45,000?
Yeah.
Like, that's not worth Martha's time.
No, and the crazy thing is like she had IPO'd her own company. She was like a billionaire. So clearly it's like
Wow.
nothing to her, right? But then her friend is the one who kind of, I think, actually caused her to get the guilty sentence because they had her as a witness and they're like, oh, you were on a trip with her. Do you remember anything? And she was like, oh, I just remember her saying something like, oh, isn't it great to have stockbrokers who tell you things like this? But like things like this doesn't necessarily imply he said like, oh, the family is selling. He just said like the stock is
Right.
going down or something. It's just like
Right.
to me that
Yeah.
isn't enough. And I feel so bad for her because after that, she wasn't able to like be the CEO of her company. She lost a lot of board seats. The company stock plummeted. They ended up like having to sell it off.
Right.
And like all because of something that they just wanted, I feel like a villain or like a,
Why did they go after her in the first place? Like, who
I don't know.
w
I think
this
like
seems like
during
a
that
lot of
time
time
they
and
were trying to
energy.
crack down on insider trading and corruption in that sense. And maybe because she was like so
A
famous and
celebrity. Yeah.
successful, they were like looking to have like a win. But
An example.
it makes me feel like, because I think thinking back, I'm like, oh, she's kind of a criminal. But now I'm like, no, she's not at all.
Yeah. Not at all. Okay, yeah, I really didn't know much about her at all.
Yeah.
I guess my memory of her and, like, what I know about her is tainted by the fact that she did go to prison, like, that's
Yeah.
really all I know. And so naturally, I'm like, "Oh, the justice system works or it
Yeah.
was at play. There must be some reason she went to prison."
Yeah.
And now that you're telling me there isn't.
I don't think it was a good reason. I'm sorry I spoiled so much for you. I was just too excited to tell you.
I mean, I was just misinformed, or I just not informed on this topic.
Yeah,
I'm outraged.
I know. But good for
Well,
her for like not giving up. And that's the other thing. Like it was really a good time to watch it yesterday because it motivated me to be like, people can come back from the craziest things and they really just have to like not give up on themselves. And
right,
I don't know. Good for her.
right.
She's
How
like
old is
definitely having
Martha?
her new era.
She's in her comeback era right
And
now.
she's in her 80s. She looks so good.
What?
Yeah.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to look her up. I haven't seen her in a long
Watch the
time.
documentary.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'll just do that. Oh, okay, well, definitely how long is it? Is it a
It's
one-parter or like
yeah, just one part. I think it was under 2 hours, just under 2 hours.
Okay.
So not too
Sounds
bad.
motivating.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. After the election, I was like, I need to take a break from the news. I need to take a break from these podcasts. I need to take a break from just like election stuff in general.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to focus on my reality TV. I'm going to focus on the recaps of these stupid shows. But it was really hard because I knew that other content was out there.
I know. Well,
okay.
This one is pretty good.
Family wellness.
We don't have that much time, but do you want to tell me about your Pilates update?
Okay, my Pilates update is I've gone to 2 more classes.
Good for
and
you.
The instruction has been different every single time. I really like it because I do feel sore afterwards. But there's this one no-nonsense teacher that I'm kind of scared of now. She's this Asian woman. And she kept telling me, she kept coming over to me and being like, are you resting or are you confused?
Wow.
And I was like, I'm confused. And she's like, okay, then do it like this. And so she was showing me how to do it. And then I could only do maybe 2 reps. And then I got tired. She's like, are you resting or confused again?
Wait, how many people are in a class?
12.
Oh, that's a good amount.
Yeah, or 11 or 12. Yeah, it's a good amount. Like, I mean, it's just a bunch of megaformers in a row. And other people were also confused, by the way. I look to other people because I don't know like the names of all these different moves. Yeah. So I looked at other people and I'm pretty good at copying them, but they were not doing well. So I got even more confused.
Oh man.
But that's
like
all I wanted to say.
To get called out.
I don't mind at all. I love it when they teach me modifications, but the fact that she was like, you resting or confused? So funny to me.
That should be a shirt. We should make a shirt that says that.
We should make a shirt. That's a good one. Okay, wait. The last thing I'll share with you is I've been getting a lot of ads on social media for those books where you can customize with your kids' names. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they make a little story with your kids' names in them, and it's super cute for the holidays. So there's a Paw Patrol version one, and you can pick if you have a boy or a girl. And I was trying to see what the difference was. The only difference that I could tell was that they both wear eyeliner, or they have like a black eye on top.
Is it like a little boy or a little girl or a dog?
But it's like a dog.
Oh, okay.
And the only difference is that the girl one is a winged liner. The boy didn't have that wing.
Someone really thought long and hard, like, how are we going to customize this so it's a boy or a girl?
I was like, this is a money grab right here.
When we were younger, I feel like it was always like lashes.
Yeah, there were no lashes on this dog.
Oh.
But you're right. It was the lashes or like a little bow.
Which is silly because boys and girls both have eyelashes.
I know.
And sometimes boys have like beautiful long eyelashes and girls
It's not like they're going out there wearing mascara.
Yeah.
It's strange. Okay, well, I'm happy we didn't think about the election for that long.
Yes, not too long.
Here and there. Well, good seeing you.
You too. Thanks for listening, everyone. Rate, subscribe. What else? Check out our Amazon storefront and come back next week.
Hopefully by the time you hear this, everyone will be feeling a lot better.
Yes.
At least, hopefully we will.
We will.
Okay, bye.
Bye.